Hello guys, this is another Beatles fan, and today we have a different video. I'm gonna show you guys my vinyl collection. I've already showed you my CD collection, so if you haven't checked that out, please do. Um, I uploaded this video many months ago, but it's there, and to be honest, it hasn't changed a bit because I don't buy CDs, I buy vinyl records. And to start off today, we have different Beatles albums, and I'm calling them non-canonical Beatles albums, and by that I mean capital releases, compilations, and it's not a ton of them, to be honest. I try and buy right now a lot of Paul McCartney records. I kind of want to complete my collection, and there are some important albums missing, but most importantly, I want to find great Beatles canonical releases. And it's hard here in Brazil. I live in Brazil, and that's really important because most of these compilations are Brazilian pressings, and they're fun, I think, and they sound good in general. But what I look forward to now, what I'm kind of focusing on in my collection, is my Beatles canonical records. Some of them don't sound that good, especially because I kind of inherited a lot of records from my father. He hasn't died, but he's kind of given his Beatles collection to me, which I am very grateful for. Anyway, let's start off with two Capitol albums I own. Number one is this one, Meet the Beatles, and we all know this one, right? To be honest, it looks great. I'm pretty sure it is a 70s repressing. Maybe you guys can tell me, but I'm pretty sure it's 70s because of the orange Capitol label. It sounds great. It's stereo, as it says here, but it sounds really good. I found this really cheap. Had to buy it, and it does an incredible job. We also have Hey Jude, right? This one is a little bit more beat up. I love this picture. I love both pictures, really. Pretty sure this was their last photo session. This was Brazil. This is a Brazilian pressing. It's not in a good state. It's maybe my Beatles album in the poorest state. Let's take a look at the record. So we have an Apple label, and it's kind of beat up, kind of scruffed. I could do some cleaning on it. I'm pretty sure I listened to it like last year, and I'm pretty sure it sounded good. It didn't sound too bad. So if I clean it up, I'm pretty sure it would sound better. What do you guys think of Hey Jude? I think it's a different album, right? Because we have a funny mix of songs. We have Hey Jude, Revolution, Paperback Writer, I Should Have Known Better, Lady Madonna, Can't Buy Me Love, Don't Let Me Down, Bell of John and Yoko, Rain, and No Brown Shoe. Kind of doesn't make sense, right? Why? Especially, I can kind of understand Paperback Writer, but what about I Should Have Known Better and Can't Buy Me Love? It just doesn't make sense. Why the hell did they release it like that? I don't understand. If you guys have answers, please let me know. Okay, now we are into compilation territory. Okay, I have a lot of compilations, really. To start off, one that has gotten very famous, this Japanese 1962 to 1966. I love this OB. It's part of the British Flag series. If you guys know about Japanese collection of the Japanese Beatles records, and this a cousin of mine went to Japan. He bought it for himself, but then he decided to sell his collection, and so I, of course, got it from him because it looks so good. It's in an Apple label, pretty sure. It's got this red lyric sheet here. I'm gonna take out only one record. Yeah, this Apple label. and it sounds fantastic. It sounds so good. But it's funny because I'm not sure if it's just the flag collection that has this characteristic, or if it's all Japanese pressings. I'm pretty sure I've read it somewhere. It's all Japanese pressings that have more high range frequencies. They sound less bassy and more bright. I don't think that's bad. I think that's different. Kind of makes you listen to the records in a different perspective. And as a collection, I feel like it's great to have a Japanese pressing. It's the only one I have. I also do have this one. Is my father's actually. Two versions. He has it on vinyl, also a Japanese pressing. I really want to find a good priced, also flag collection, 1967 to 1970, the Blue album, of course. I want to have both of them in this pressing because I feel like it's very collectible, right? Now we have a different album. This is the Beatles Ao Vivo. It is an album by this Napoleon label. I haven't heard of it, and it's pretty beat up. Again, it was one of my dad's. I haven't played it. I do want to check it out, but the record again is pretty scratched. Okay, I hadn't heard. Well, this is very interesting. I hadn't noticed it before I started recording. So in side A, we have the Beatles playing, their Beatles live concerts, right? So Boys, A Hard Day's Night, Long Tall Sally, Twist and Shout, you can do that. And the medley, All My Loving and Twist and Shout. Apparently this is from Italy. It is a Brazilian pressing, but apparently this Napoleon maybe is an Italian brand. And we also have the Beatles with Tony Sheridan. I didn't know this was here, but it doesn't have My Bonnie in it. It has different songs. So this is really interesting, really. I'm gonna set this apart. I'm gonna clean this record up to see if I can get listen to it. Really, it's pretty strange, this one. Now we have the Beatles Rock and Roll Music. This is a very famous compilation, I think. It's got a lot of different era Beatles songs, mostly the Beatles early stuff. But the title says it pretty clearly, right? It's the Beatles Rock and Roll Music. So it's got mostly the most energetic tracks. All of them are super energetic. We have I'm Down, Revolution, Helter Skelter, Taxman, Money, That's What I Want. I love that one. And it has this gatefold here. Kind of replicates the 50s aesthetic, which doesn't make a lot of sense, right? The Beatles were a 60s band, but we have a ton of rock covers here, of rockabilly covers, and Carl Perkins and whatever. And it is an EMI pressing. I'm pretty sure this is a British pressing. So it's got the Parlophone label. And the record seems in pretty good condition. I don't recall playing it lately. I don't think I have. So I also want to check this one out regarding sound quality later. And the thing I really love about compilations in my collection is that we have a ton of Beatles songs that wouldn't I wouldn't have if I only had the studio albums, right? So it makes for a fun listen sometimes to listen to Oh Brown Shoe on vinyl, and I don't know, Anytime at All. Actually, Anytime at All was in A Hard Day's Night. Anyway, I Call Your Name. I don't think it's on A Hard Day's Night. Anyway, I digress. Now we have the Beatles rarities. This one is also a very famous one. It's supposed to have different sounding tracks or more less known tracks, right? That were released as singles, as B-sides. So She's a Woman, Matchbox, I Call Your Name, Bad Boy, I Love That Boy. We have the German songs. We have Thank You Girl. We have The Inner Light, also love The Inner Light. We have Yes It Is, which I'm pretty sure it's maybe one of the most underrated Beatles tracks. This is the label. It's EMI Odeon. Odeon was the company that released the Beatles records here in Brazil, especially at the beginning. Today I found actually maybe was a 60s era Beatles album. It was called Beatles 65, only released in Brazil, and it was in terrible shape, and I would buy it for collection's sake, but I felt like I could have found a better deal on it, or maybe a better looking record, because that one was really rough. I don't think I would have been able to play it. Anyway, continuing here, we are almost done. We have now, actually, let me talk about this one before I talk about the last two compilations. This is a Russian pressing. I went to London like 10 years ago, and my dad bought this. It's called A Taste of Honey. It sounds really good, if I recall correctly. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is a Russian pressing, right? It's got the boys' names in Cyrillic alphabet. It's got the songs' names, probably translated, right, in Cyrillic. So it's got P.S. I love you. Do you want to know a secret? A taste of honey. I saw her standing there, babies in black. No reply. I'll follow the sun 8 days a week. I don't want to spoil the party. Rock and roll music. Please, Mr. Postman. It won't be long till there was you, little child. Devil in her heart. I want to be your man. So early tunes by the Beatles, and most of the compilation albums I feel like I have are early tunes. The earlier songs, and the label is so cool. I kind of like the Russian Soviet aesthetic, so this feels nice. Everything in Russian. It's an album I cherish because it's probably impossible to find here in Brazil, and it's in great condition. So I'm going to the US actually this year, and I do hope I can find some jams like this one. Now we have two compilations, excuse me. They are super important to me. When I was young, I got into vinyl. This was maybe 2008, 2009, because of my dad. Again, he had a Beatles collection, and now it's mine, but I remember loving these two compilation albums. I'm gonna show you guys here. And I've played a huge ton of them. This is the Beatles 20 Greatest Hits, and this is Beatles Forever. This one, I wanted to read a bit about it before I started the video. So this was released in Spain, in Argentina, and in Brazil. And it's got single songs that weren't released in Argentina back then. So it has Day Trooper, Yes It Is, I'm Down, The Fool on the Hill, Strawberry Fields, We Can Work It Out, Your Mother Should Know, Penny Lane, Baby You're a Rich Man, I Call Your Name, The Inner Light, and Blue Jay Way. So apparently they weren't released in Argentina back then. It's not looking good, the record, but I'm pretty sure it just needs a good cleanup. And I'm gonna do it because it's got a lot of Magical Mystery Tour songs on it, and I love them, really. Especially Blue Jay Way. Not especially Blue Jay Way, but I feel like It's an underrated song. And here we have the Beatles' 20 greatest hits, and it's a huge task to name only 20 Beatles songs as the greatest hits. And we have here She Loves You, Love Me Do, I Wanna Hold Your Hand, Can Buy Me Love, A Hard Day's Night, I Feel Fine, 8 Days a Week, Ticket to Ride, Help, Yesterday, We Can Work It Out, Paperback Writer. On side 1. Side 2, we have Penny Lane, All You Need Is Love, Hello Goodbye, Hey Jude, Get Back, Come Together, Let It Be, and The Long and Winding Road. So we can see they chose a ton of A-side singles for this. I really miss Strawberry Fields Forever here. It's one of my favorite songs, and I don't think any Beatles compilation should leave it out. Except, of course, for like the rock and roll compilation, which has a specific goal, right? To only have rock and roll songs. It has this really cool inner sleeve that I loved as a kid. It's the same picture on both sides, but it's got the Beatles in like totally different stages of their career. It's got like old Ringo here and Help Paul or whatever, Help Help era Paul, that's what I mean. And it's a bit of a lighter record. I don't know if you can hear the wobble, but it's there. And it's both of these albums are Brazilian pressings again. And it says here, this reproduction from Phil Spector. Okay, it's talking about The Long and Winding Road, makes sense. It's giving the producer credit to The Long and Winding Road. And it's in this kind of ugly EMI label. But I really love the inner sleeve. And it's one of those things that you see on your childhood, and it kind of makes the album a bit more magical. And again, the main gist about this video is that I do need to listen to the compilation albums a bit more, because there's a ton of great stuff in here. Maybe not this one. Maybe this one is regarding to music a bit too basic for me. I like my B-sides. Anyway, now we have the final album, the Beatles Decatapes, on this this picture disc here. I bought this a year and a half ago. I was in Spain. Pretty sure I bought this in Spain, maybe in France, but it's a picture disc, and it's the only picture disc I have, to be honest. It was wrapped in a polyline sleeve, so I kind of had to throw it out. And there's some funny things about this record. First one is that the whole of the deck tapes are on one side, so this side is doesn't have any music on it, and it's the first time I've seen that on a record. I think you can see it here. It doesn't have any grooves on it. This side though has it. Yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm not really good at this. I think you can see the grooves on the drum skin, close to the drum skin. It doesn't have any grooves here, as you can probably see. So that's pretty interesting. I was kind of shocked when I saw it. It has a ton of text here by this guy called Grid Leak. To be honest, I haven't read it. I had to read it. It mentions the untold story of the Decatapes, and it's a huge text, but at the end it says, no, the untold story of the Decatapes is a work of historical fiction. And I've read Tune In, so maybe it only says that for copyright reasons or whatever. I don't know why it would mention that. But what's really important also is that when I first played this, I thought, I don't know why, that this was sped up and the Beatles didn't sound like them at all. It's really funny when you think about it because it wasn't sped up. And the Beatles sounded like this on the Decca tapes. And again, it's kind of weird thinking about that because we are so used to the Beatles being really good at what they're doing, and they weren't good here. They weren't at the top of their game, they were nervous, and they didn't sound like them. They didn't come through as expected. And I just noticed here the word Beatles, the Decca tapes are, it is mirrored. The video right now is mirrored, but I'm gonna unmirror it so you can read it. This is correct. The side that doesn't have the grooves, the side with the grooves, is not mirrored, of course. This is a bootleg. I think it can be considered a bootleg. And I only have this for historical reasons. It's great to have the Decca tapes on vinyl, but it's not the best work the Beatles have done. Anyway, this video is huge. I'm sorry about that. Talk a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do you guys know any of these records I showed here, except for the well-known ones? Of course, I don't mean the Red album. Have you listened to them? What do you think about them? What do you think of the sound quality of these records? Especially if you, I don't know if you know, if you've had the opportunity to hear This Dressing of a Taste of Honey, please let me know in the comments and leave a like. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one.